Hi ladies and gentlemen, this is Game of Trades and this is going to be a technical analysis of crude oil WTI futures. I'm going to cover the hourly chart first, giving you guys a nice little trade setup as you can see right here, and then I'm going to cover the longer term outlook. We have been quite successful with crude oil so far, so let's try and keep the same level up. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And now let's get right into it. So as you can see, we have a nice little pattern here on the hourly chart on crude oil. I drew this uptrend line here. You know, you can draw it however you want. I think this is the trend line that captures the most reactions right here. So I think this is the one that's gonna break the most impulsively. And we have here a nice contraction price trend line here that shows this wedge pattern. I'm going to put in some MACD indicator right here, and you can see that we have some nice divergence here on the hourly chart. The MACD making a lower high whilst price continues contracting up. That is usually a sign of a reversal, and on the hourly chart it can give a few days of reversal. So I do expect some downside of a break of trend line if we break this trend line, obviously. So when we do that, I think that we'll revisit this level that we broke. We made a nice support level here with 1, 2, 3 reactions, so I do expect a pullback and a back test to this level if we're going to continue up higher on crude oil. So that would be a nice, I think 10% profit on, no, 7% profit on crude oil. And if you're using DWT, which is the 3 times inverse ETF, which is what I'll be using for this short-term trade, that would be a nice 21% profit with DWT if you're buying right now. Obviously, if you buy on the break of trend line, you'll have a little bit less of an attractive price, but that is what I strongly recommend. Do not buy DWT before the break of trend line. Now, obviously, I do have a stop here. Nothing is 100%, especially with these hourly charts. They don't always play out. So my stop is 59.6. Why? Just because that is a nice resistance level, and if we start breaking above this, I think we may risk a little bit more upside before crude oil reverses. So that's about it for the hourly chart. I'm going to cover the daily chart now, which is usually what you guys want. Alright, so the daily chart looks quite good. As you can see, we had this this huge daily uptrend line here that I was talking about for weeks on end, and then we had this nice little divergence on the RSI. Sorry, I'm going to put the RSI on right here, and you can see we were overbought on the RSI, and we had a lower high on the RSI whilst price made a higher high, and that led to this nice pullback. You can see the last time we had that on the RSI here at the exact same level, we had a lower high and a higher high on the price, and we had a nice pullback on crude oil. So that is exactly what we expected, a break of trend line. And I had 3 different targets aligned, and we hit each of them successfully. We did have a potential reversal of the first target, but we ended up hitting all of these consecutively and quite quickly, so it was a quite successful trade. And then right here I did talk about 2 potential scenarios, and I said I closed out all my short positions. I don't know what's going to happen here. Anything could go. You know, the pattern has played out, and now, you know, it's up to anyone's guess what's going to happen at this level. And you know, we had undercut the lows, and I said I've I've been talking about a potential uh, crash lower, an undercut of these lows in crude oil for the past few weeks. I said there's a 50% chance that we head on lower to undercut the lows, or that we, if we manage to pop back above this level at 55, that we started heading on higher. It ended up being the long option, and we did that exactly. So, you know, for now, we pop back above this target, pop back above this one, but we do have contraction in price, at least on the hourly chart. So right now, I think that you know, if you're trading long term, if you're just trading the daily chart and not the hourly, don't pay attention to what I said on the hourly. Just pay attention to these two levels, the 60 level and the 57 level. Those are the two key levels. If we start to head on higher and push through the 60.5 level, then we'll definitely start heading on higher, and that would be good news for the bulls in crude oil. And if we, you know, that's my preferred scenario. If we start heading lower than 57, especially if this small hourly trade, you know, if it plays out, we'll break this 57 level and then definitely start to head on higher, lower, and we'll undercut these lows, and potentially we'll see, let's not get ahead of ourselves, but potentially undercut these lows too. Now, one last thing I want to note on the daily chart is the fact that we are below the zero line on the MACD, and you know that simply means that we are currently in a downtrend for crude oil. So, you know, going long on off of this rally is really not the best option, um, especially considering the fact that we're making a series of lower lows and lower highs. So we're clearly in a downtrend. We're below the zero line on the MACD. I would really not go long here. If you went long here at the bottom, congratulations, but you know, this is not a good option, especially considering the divergence we see on the hourly chart. So that's about all I wanted to say on crude oil. My computer is starting to make a little bit of noise, so I'm going to cut the video short right here. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you did. In the meantime, good luck on your trading, and see you next time.